Welcome to the straight up, no bullshit, the Don Handston Show. Our hosts are going to push the limits, but create an environment where it's safe to uncover the crap that holds you back so you can survive the mediocrity of today's life. And they'll be admitting and revealing their own experiences so you can learn the skills and attitude you need to be who you are. No bullshit. Warning to all listeners: if you have thin skin and get offended easily by harsh, direct, or somewhat offensive content and language, then this podcast may be overwhelming. However, we believe pulling your blinders off and viewing things from a real perspective may feel invigorating and may be the very thing that may cause you to expand your capabilities exponentially. Now here's your hosts, Don and Markus.
Welcome, everybody. Welcome back to another episode of Straight Up No Bullshit, your go-to show for real, unfiltered conversations about life, about betterment, about living life on your terms. Don, how's it going, my friend?
Everything's going wonderful today.
Excellent. Well, we got a very special guest joining us today, Travis Dodson. He's a man whose story is going to inspire you and motivate you to no end. Travis is truly a true example of resilience and determination. Imagine having your life changed in an instant, losing both your legs due to a horrific incident while serving in the Marines. But Travis didn't let that define him. Instead, he pushed forward and refused to be defeated. Not only is Travis a Purple Heart recipient, but he's also participated in the 2014 Paralympic Winter Games for Nordic skiing. Talk about taking adversity head on and turning it into triumph. And it was during those games that he discovered sled hockey, a sport that would further fuel his passion for conquering any challenge that came his way. Today, we're going to dive deep into the mindset of someone who's faced unimaginable obstacles and come out stronger for it on the other side. Think about it. How does one find the courage to keep going when life throws you a curveball like it did for Travis? These are the questions that we're going to be exploring in today's conversation. So without any further ado, Travis, welcome to the show, my friend.
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me. It's great to be on.
Absolutely. Without a doubt. So, I mean, when Don first told me about your story, I was like, unbelievable. So thank you so much for your service and for what you really, gave and also sacrificed for our country. Thanks can't even begin to share our gratitude for what you're doing. I mean, you got an amazing story. So tell us, how did it all start? I mean, how did you pick yourself up from being in a situation where a lot of people would just curl up in a ball and want to just give up? You faced significant challenges and you overcame it. What were you thinking? How did you accomplish that?
Yeah. So back in 2007, I was injured in Iraq by a grenade. Luckily survived. My one friend did not. He died in that incident.
Sorry.
So I think going through the recovery process and all that, it was kind of I'm not like a perfect person. I obviously went through my own struggles initially, but
sure.
I think one thing that helped me was people kind of had told me hey man, you made it, you survived that. Whereas your friend didn't. I bet he would trade places with you right now if he could. And I was and that kind of helped to kind of be stop having a pity party for yourself. You got life's going on and you're kind of, not a second chance at life, but almost losing my life in Iraq. And then,
right.
So it's hey, let's make the best of what I got,
Absolutely. That's contrast. That definitely has a way of shining a light on how good our lives really are, no matter what's going on. So
yeah,
that's phenomenal. So what role did determination and resilience play in helping you overcome it? And just what inspired you to say, you know what, I'm going to go and I'm going to learn how to cross-country ski, or I'm going to, maybe you were a cross-country skier before and it was a love of yours and you decided to take it on. But how did that transpire?
No, it was really so I did a lot of rehabilitation, after my injury. The military did an outstanding job. They have top-notch facility that I went to do my rehabilitation. And it was there that I kind of started really getting into working out. In the Marine Corps, I kind of fell in love with running. I was never really a runner, but we ran so much in the Marine Corps that I really enjoyed that. And the feeling of truly just exerting yourself and to where you kind of have nothing left and you're just dog tired, that became a really good feeling to me. And I love that. And so I was kind of missing that.
Wow.
When I got injured. All of a sudden I'm kind of in a wheelchair and, it's kind of hard. Working out's not the same. It got really tough. to really get that, runner's high or whatever it is. So then it was at that rehab center where I started, the first sport I really got into was wheelchair racing. And it was just a sport, like you could go out on the road, you had a chair and you just like could push, and just like really wear yourself out, down to there's like, almost you feel like you have nothing left. And so that's really what got me into like, I was like, oh man, I'm really loving, exercising and just working out. So did some competitions, did some 5Ks, 10Ks, eventually did a couple marathons. I did Chicago Marathon, Boston. So really loved that. And then it was like, after that, I got involved in, cross country skiing. And then that was another great sport where like, that is brutal hard cardio, like just another level of like pain that you are just going through for, like we'd have like 30-40 minute races and you're just at your threshold the whole time. And so I really love that sport. You're out in the snow, beautiful scenery, and you're just killing yourself. So, and then obviously like sled hockey, but that became like my real thing. I was there in Sochi. I watched the US team, win gold there. I was there as a cross country skier, but I watched them win, and I'm kind of watching that sport and I'm like, man, I think that's my sport. Like, I think I could do that. Like, that looks like way more like they get to, all the physical exertion of like skating hard and everything like that. And then the contact, the team camaraderie. I started kind of missing, like I was doing all the workouts on my own, and really like sled hockey had that team component where like, we're going to work together and accomplish this, and win. And so I just dove in like head first. I just completely stopped doing the other sports. All I did was focus on sled hockey. And in a couple of years, I was lucky enough. I got selected and picked up for the 2018 Paralympics in sled hockey. So just in 4 years, going from never playing it at all, and then I was on the national team.
Wow!
It was just like I couldn't believe it. It was incredible. It was hard. Like I was working at it every single day, going to the rinks, everything. And then, but in 4 years, got selected for the national team. Probably the last pick to barely make it on, but I still made it. And then I was a part of that 2018 team, and we won gold in Pyeongchang.
So let me share the things that I do know about Travis. So I met him on the ice and we worked together. And the first time that we said, "Hey Travis, you wanna come out and get a burger and a beer with us?" He's like, "Sure." I hold the locker room door open for him. And Travis goes, "Donnie, can you do me a favor?" I said, "What?" He goes, "Don't hold the door for me." I said, "Okay, I won't hold the door." So we all go out to get into our car. Travis is pushing a wheeled bag with his wheelchair, opening the doors, goes to the back of his truck, hits the remote, puts his bag up in the truck, climbs up in the truck, reaches down, grabs his wheelchair, throws that in the truck, slides up, drives away, right? We go to the bar, and we show up at the bar, and we see Travis's truck in the parking lot. We walk in the bar, and this motherfucker's sitting on a bar stool waiting for us. And I go, "Way to make us look fucking worthless, okay? We got 2 fucking arms, 2 fucking legs. You're on the bar stool like, where are these idiots?" And this guy's already on there. So, like, when I saw that, I'm like, this guy is truly incredible. And I believe that was before you even made it on that on the Olympic team. I think you
Yeah, that was before. That was when I was like doing the workout. That's why, like, because I had moved to Chicago, because that's where there were a couple of other sled hockey players that lived in Chicago. Brody Weibel, Kevin McKee, and I knew, I was like, man, I got to get up there and like train with these guys, so I can make it to that level. So just I was living in Champaign, Illinois, actually at the time, and I moved up 2 hours north. Said I got to live in Chicago. I got to be able to train full time. Going to the rinks, and we were at. I think we met at the Niles rink. We were at the rink in Niles.
Yep.
Yeah, and that's where, and then we started running drills, like, you, me, and Mike Roach, just running drills, working on stick handling and passing, all that stuff. It was great.
That's badass.
What was really interesting, what I thought was interesting, and I don't know if you saw it the same way, Travis, but you were out and you were working with the sled hockey team, and you were practicing sled hockey skills.
Yeah.
But then you were out with me and Mike, and you were working on what you would call able body skills. And I believe that you had like the equivalent of both ideas of hockey. They're both a little bit different, and you took that and you put it into perspective. And now what? You're the captain or the assistant captain of the the Olympic team, not right now.
Yep.
And you're currently the oldest player on the team by a lot, right?
Yeah, oldest guy on the team. Yep, that's me.
And the youngest guy is, what did you tell me? 18 years old.
Yeah, we just picked up. Well, actually, we just also picked up I forgot to mention, we picked up a 16-year-old actually.
And how old are you currently,
Very
Travis?
cool.
38.
Jeez, I mean, you're breaking records at all level. I mean, and I was telling Markus, I said, you got to meet him. We got to have him on this podcast, because tell this guy he can't do something and he's going to show you. Okay, here it is, right here. And I remember the one time, if you remember this, Travis, you come into the locker room, and I said, some guy was bitching he couldn't come because I don't know, he was on his period or whatever his problem was. But I said, Travis, why weren't you here last week? And you go, I was in Denver downhill cross country skiing. And I'm like, you were cross country downhill skiing? And I'm like, if this guy's out downhill cross country skiing, you could have put a tampon in and got on the ice to this other guy. I'm like, unbelievable. So when I see the things that you're capable of, dude, I will tell you, it is very inspirational to me. It was inspirational to know you, to work with you,
Yeah.
and to see that you're still fucking thriving. You're still on that slope up. You're still continuing to get better. And where do you go from here? Are you gonna continue playing on the Olympic team? Are you gonna coach? What's your plan?
Yeah, goal right now is to continue on. You know, we got Milan coming up. I want to make it through the next cycle. But then after that, that'll be it. Everyone knows when it's kind of starting to be the time. I'll be 40. It'll be, I've had a good run. Like if we go to Milan, that'll be 4 Paralympics I've been to, including Sochi. So, that'd be a great career. I'd be happy with it, So yeah, just one more cycle, one more Paralympic run here.
So you've been to 3 Paralympics.
For sled hockey.
How many gold for sled hockey? How many gold medals did you get?
Oh no, it will be 3. We have 2 gold medals. We won Pyeongchang and Beijing. We won gold.
So the 2 that you were in, you won gold medals with both.
Yep.
Unbelievable. That's unbelievable.
That's phenomenal.
And did you win gold medals with the downhill skiing as well?
No, cross country I didn't. No, I was middle, bottom of the pack. First Paralympic Games. Just was happy to even be there, honestly. So, but no, I wasn't really competitive in Sochi. No.
So, but we obviously, Sochi led you to being on the hockey team, which now it helped lead you to the passion. So even though it may not have turned out exactly the way you were hoping for, it led you to where you were meant to be, which is awesome. And you kept on keeping on, which is cool. So
what's your plan from here? So you're gonna go out, you're gonna work on another gold medal, hopefully, everything works out, and then where do you go from there?
Yeah, and I'll say, I don't know if you guys, obviously maybe you guys haven't paid attention to sled hockey. Like the last 2.5 years, like we haven't lost a game. Like USA went undefeated for years. We won a couple world championships. We played a lot of friendly games against Canada, never been beat. And then we just lost this last world championship to Canada.
Oh, wow.
So, that kind of got a bitter taste in our mouth. And so like really now we're pushing even harder for, we got to win gold in Milan. But these other countries, like they're not rolling over for us. That's for sure.
Right.
So yeah, everything is now gearing up toward Milan. Like that's the eye. That's what we got, the eye on the prize. That's the main goal right there, Milan. Everything else, whatever. We're gonna win gold in Milan. And that's the goal we're working for.
Yeah. Sometimes you need that kick in the pants to get you to the next level. You kind of get, you're going. You're just crushing everybody. And so sometimes it's easier to, you kind of lay back on your heels a little bit, but then all of a sudden Canada comes by, puts you in your place. And now it's like, okay, time to take it to the next level. So that's cool. It's a good learning experience.
Yeah. I think this season we got to show that we're still the dominant team.
Yeah,
we can't just let Canada now, like they're a good team. Obviously we don't take anything away from them, but they now kind of think they can hang, and we're going to have to really try to show them this season that, hey, it was just a fluke. You guys can't hang with us,
Yeah, I had gum on my shoe during that game. That's all that happened.
We got to make this next season kind of a revenge tour of really striving to get as good as we possibly can. And we will. I think our team responds well to adversity. Everyone's going to bust their ass to work as hard as they can on their game, and we're going to be ready for them next time for sure.
So are the guys that you're playing with are they pivotal as far as inspiration toward the other players on the team? Like, do you have some guys on the team obviously are better at skills and this and that, leaders, but is there guys that you play with that are very inspirational to you or the team? Do you guys kind of get each other going on we got this, we can do it, we're capable?
Oh yeah, everyone on the team is incredible. Obviously we have our top guys. Declan Farmer, he's really unstoppable when he's at his best. He cannot be stopped. You can guard him and you can try to take away a little bit of stuff, but he's gonna find a way in. He's gonna score. He's just that skilled. So we have a lot of insanely good players that I look up to. Just the things they can do on the ice. It's incredible how skilled they've become, and that shows through when they play. He's our point leader, him, Jack Wallace, Josh Mishevitz. We got insane amounts of skill on this team.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm. Yeah. So,
that's awesome.
So tell us a little bit about your life. So obviously you're training for your sled hockey. It sounds like year round. What other kinds of things are you doing out there in Tennessee?
Really we love to go out and just, enjoy, downtown Franklin, go to some little shows and festivals or whatever they do. Tennessee is just a great place. I've been really happy here, especially down here in Franklin. A little quieter than Nashville. Nashville's got, a lot going on when you're in downtown Nashville. So it's nice to kind of be out away from it. But yeah, training takes up a good bit of my time, but just living life, enjoying the weather, going out to the pool, hanging out, doing all that stuff. Yeah.
That's awesome. That's awesome.
Absolutely. What's on the horizon for you? What do you have a vision or some goals that you're eyeing on that's going to be on past the Olympics, or are you right now just going to focus on just beating Canada and dominating, and then you'll decide what to do next?
Yeah, well, obviously, right, obviously that's the goal, but I have been thinking about what I'm going to do after, sled hockey is sled hockey will be done for me at some point. That's just the nature of athletics.
Right.
It's you can't do it forever. The young kids, they're coming for you. So after this Paralympics, I'm going to be done. And then I actually just recently had one of my first, a public speaking, went and did a talk for New Mexico Department of Agriculture. They had an annual conference. I'm originally from New Mexico. So that's how they kind of reached out to me and said, hey, we'd love to have, another fellow New Mexican come back and, speak. So I did a speaking engagement and I thought it went really well. It was my first one. So probably a little rough around the edges, but that's something I'm going to look to in the future, is to continue going and doing some public speaking and, telling my story and, some people want to hear it. I love that. That's great.
Absolutely. Well, you're an inspiration. So, I mean, telling your story is huge. I think even documenting what you're doing there on the ice there, I think, your chefs have someone shoot some video of you guys out there on YouTube. I mean, it would be very inspirational as well. And if you like public speaking, I got addicted to public speaking early on in my career. And I tell you, there's no bigger high than performing and then presenting in front of a large group and people getting it. The light bulbs go on. You can just see in their look in their eyes that you made an impact, and it's pretty awesome. So I hope that goes well for you. I hope you continue doing that.
Oh, thank you. Yeah, it did go well. I was like, it was my first time. It was probably kind of a small, like it was 150 people, maybe something like that. But
that's a nice sized crowd.
Talked for about 30, 40 minutes or so, and that was kind of a lot. I feel like that's a long time. If that's your first speaking engagement, to go up and talk for 30 minutes,
sure,
nonstop is kind of, there's a lot to be said. So, but I thought
absolutely.
It was pretty well received. Everyone said I did pretty well, and yeah, it was great. I just had such a good time with it, and the nerves. I had a ton of nerves going into it, but then once you're up there, something kind of happens where it just goes away, and you kind of like get in the zone, and you're just going, and you're not even thinking about it. So
would you say that maybe your military experience in the Marine Corps helped to shape that perspective and helps get you that focus? And, it's like, being on task, despite, the adversity or what the craziness is going on around you.
Yeah. Just in like how to prepare. Like I like a little bit of the, discipline of like, I really worked on the, kind of what I was going to say, outlining it. And I think that's just like the discipline to kind of focus in. Like I kind of got that from the military,
right?
Being like an infantry guy, that a lot of the skills we learned don't really translate, but there's the small stuff that'll translate. Discipline,
sure.
Working together, just all that stuff. Like proper planning. We've always said, like, if you're going to go into something, like proper planning is like, that's the key to success. If you haven't planned properly, everything's going to go to shit. And so that's really what it comes down to.
Yeah.
It's one of the big things I took away from the military.
That's awesome. You said when you got up there and it's like you got in the zone, it's almost like in my mind, I could almost picture, I've never been in the military. So I'm just going off of things I've seen and read, is that once you're like, if you were in a combat situation and maybe you were nervous, but you got into the zone because you were right there. Was that experience similar?
Yeah, it's kind of the same. Like, you're about to like, when you leave the wire, there always were a little bit of like nerves. Like you're kind of like, okay, here we go. It's like game time, right? Like this is the real deal now. We're going outside the wire. Like anything could happen. We've talked over, we've done all the planning. We've talked over our route. We know where we're going, why we're going, what we're trying to look for, all that stuff. We know everything.
Right.
But there's always going to be a screwball. There's always something that's going to happen out there that you're like, oh shit, like now we have to just react and figure it out. So
adapt.
Yeah, there definitely was that stuff where you have the nerves, but once you're out there, it's just, you're in it. You just have to get it done. That's all there is to it.
Adapt, right? Adapt.
Yeah. You just adapt to it. Whatever new situation pops up, you're just like, oh, change of plans. We got to do this. Let's go do it.
Well, that kind of falls into your hockey, right? Your hockey that you're doing, right? I mean, every situation's going to change every second, right?
Oh yeah,
It's constantly adapting and knowing that there's options for you. That there's different things that you can do to take advantage of that, of the change, right?
Yeah.
And so that's probably helped you be successful, and even in the hockey, right? Like.
Yeah, absolutely. It's the same thing. Like, we have a plan for how we want to deal with certain players, maybe on like Canada, but all of a sudden, someone gets beat. It's a one-on-one matchup. They get beat defensively. You have to react. You just have to cover new things. Yeah. It's a complete shift until that guy gets back in position. So yeah, it happens all the time in a game. Like everything's good. We have everything good. Oh shit, someone got beat. Now we have to react, and you have to pick someone else up. You have to communicate. Hey, I got him. You're going here. Watch this guy. It's all that stuff. So a lot of that came exactly like military, just like that.
Got it. So what would you say, in your opinion, what is the key to living life on your own terms? Because you're obviously doing that.
Like, honestly, like like, I know you guys think, like, to you guys, it feels, you see me as like an inspiration, but to me, it's just like, why wouldn't I just continue living life? Like,
Right.
I was down for a while, and it, like, it sucked. Like, I was injured and whatever, but I was like, man, like, life goes on. Like, there's still so much to do. It's all different
Yes,
now.
it
Like, I
does.
do stuff a little bit differently. But to think about, like, the stuff I've done in my life that I would have never got to do. Now I play sled hockey on the U.S. national team. I get to travel around the country and the world playing hockey, getting paid. Like, who would have, like, ever thought I could do this? You know what I mean? This would have never happened to me. And now I'm
Right.
living, like, an awesome life. Like, yeah, I have, like, some daily struggles, but who doesn't? You know what I mean? Like, who doesn't have daily
Right.
struggles? You just deal with them and you keep going. Like, life is more than
true.
just, like, bad things happening to you. There's so much awesomeness. Like, go out and do it.
So you're the epitome of everything that I try to portray in this this channel, right? And no matter how bad something is that happens, there's always a silver lining. There's always a reason that you can come out better for it. Okay, things change with things that happen, right?
Yeah.
But if you can always reach out and always hook onto the positive side of things and find that silver lining, like you just said, it's awesome. You're able to do things that you were never able to do before. I mean, you just identified your silver lining where most people would adhere to the tragic part of what got you where you are today, where you adhered to the positive side. You're playing hockey. You're traveling the world. You're living a great life. You just said awesome. You just used all these words to describe how wonderful life is if you're reaching for that positive. If you're not focused on that negative, you're focused on the positive side of whatever it is that happens. And for me, that's inspirational because I wish all people could think like that, because if all people could think like that, this world would be a fantastic place. And not that it's not, but it could be better. Everything can always be better, right?
Yeah. And it's not to say you can't, everyone's got problems, and that means something. It doesn't mean like you just can't ever feel like, I don't want to say bad, but like, yeah, you're going to feel down sometimes. You're going to be like, oh man, that sucks that happened to me. Okay, that's it. Now you've been sad for a little while. Now it's time to be like, what am I going to do about it? Like, how do I keep going?
Yeah.
You can't just dwell on it. Like, you can process it, what happened to you and all that, but then, all right, it's over and it ain't going to change. Like, you better just deal with it.
Right.
Yeah.
And it goes back to, again, one of our podcasts was on being the cause or being the effect, right? And being the effect is outside sources affect who you are or what you're capable of, and being the cause is being the reason why you can, right?
Yeah.
And then you just do, and so again, you are like the epitome of cause. You are creating what it is that you want in life. You're happy, you're healthy, you're living life on your own terms. You're doing things that you never thought you could do before, and maybe you couldn't have had you stayed on the course that you originally on with no problems. And we did another podcast with Dr. Steve, and he says sometimes problems or illnesses or accidents or whatever it is a gift in strange wrapping paper, because it opens up opportunities that weren't available for you before you had that problem or that illness or that tragedy. And so I listening to you today, I agree with that wholeheartedly.
Yeah.
You do?
Yeah, for sure. And like there was a lot of uncertainty too about like what I was going to do. Right. So like, I'm a cross country skier, and now I'm going to go try a brand new sport I've never done. I'm just going to go do that. Like, most people would be like, no, I don't know. I was like, why not? Like, try. Like who cares? But if you're going to do it, like, go all in and try and see what can happen.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? And like you guys, like you, Don, like right now, like you're just starting up this podcast. You're just like, I want to do it. And why not? Yeah. Go. Let's see what happens. Maybe something awesome comes out of this. You're going to meet a lot of cool people, like whatever it is. But like, it's going to be a new experience, and like, just do it. Like, go do it. There's no reason not to just go all in and try something new. And if it doesn't work out, it's okay. It doesn't matter, but give it your all and like try it, you know?
Without
Exactly.
failure, you never get success, right?
Yeah.
Exactly.
You have to be okay with failing.
Yeah.
You have to be willing to try. Just starting from the first, in the get go.
Mm-hmm.
I had a interesting experience a couple of years ago where I almost died and was in ICU for 28 days. And you know what? There was times where I was challenged as well. However, it's like, you know what? They gave me a whole new perspective. I'm only gonna do things that brings me happiness and joy, no matter what it is. I don't care if it makes me money, doesn't make me money. If it makes me happy, and if I feel like I'm contributing to the world, then that's what I'm going to do. And this podcast is one of them. So
Yeah, absolutely.
It's awesome people do that.
Yeah.
You just got having that perspective is so important. And those perspectives you shared here today are just phenomenal. So I appreciate that very much. So we just celebrated the 4th of July. How do you define personal freedom and independence?
Define personal freedom? Oh, that's helpful.
And independence.
Yeah, I feel like, we're pretty lucky. We live in one of like the greatest country, right?
Yep.
I feel like I have that, and that's exactly, what I have. Like, I have personal freedom. I can go do whatever I want to do. If I want to go attempt whatever, nothing's holding me back. And yeah, I love that.
That's awesome. What other areas in your life do you not hold back from? Like, what other areas would you say are extraordinary, just like what you're doing right now on the ice?
Oh, that's a tough question. I don't know. Like, that's something I don't think about.
Sure. No, I get it.
You know what I mean? Like, I don't have what else am I doing? I feel like just sled hockey takes so much of my focus. Like, that's my job. That's everything I do is geared to that. Whether when I'm going into the gym and I'm lifting, with my trainer, everything's geared to like, how do we make you better on the ice? How do we make you stronger, faster, or keep you strong and fast as I'm aging. So just still the pursuit of sled hockey.
It sounds like
just
how you define it as betterment.
Everything I'm doing. Yeah.
Yeah, absolutely. He is,
Right.
Markus. I think part of the secret to your success is you're constantly striving to get better. You said it, stronger, faster, whatever it is. You're looking to improve yourself, and if you always improve, you will not ever be happy with declining, right? When you're always looking to improve and go up, right? You're not going to be happy with your body falling apart or getting slower. And let's say you get slower. What I found, because I got a new hip now, Travis, I don't know if you know that.
Oh,
I got a new hip now, and I can actually skate again pretty good. So it's really cool. But the thing is, through losing speed and all the things that maybe I had before, okay, right now, my improvement is more on the skills, right? More on the skill level. And I never really had all the skills that I had. So there's certain things that you can't improve, but you can improve other things that will supersede the areas that you cannot improve or that decline. And it sounds like that's exactly what you're doing, right?
Yeah. And, I'll just say like one thing our coach always tells us is we've been on the top of sled hockey for a long time. Mm-hmm. USA, we went on a almost 2.5 year winning streak, didn't lose a game. But our coach always, during that whole time, said, he's like, hey, if you look at the top of a mountain, they're like where the trees stop growing, like nothing grows on top of a mountain. He's like, you guys are on top of your game right now, but you have to figure out a way to keep growing. Like you can't just settle and say, oh, we're winning, we're good enough. He's like, you have to keep growing. And that's like, I don't know. I just feel like that's such an important message for us as a team and just in life too. Like if you keep growing, like you can't settle. Even if you think you're doing the best at what you're doing, keep finding ways to improve because, it's what life is.
Well, you're absolutely right. And one of my fondest sayings is things either get better or they get worse. Nothing stays the same.
Yeah.
Change is the only
the only
Constant.
certainty in life.
Constant. You're right.
It's the only constant in the universe.
Exactly. So it's either getting better or it's getting worse. Nothing's flatlining. Nothing's in cruise control. Nothing's staying the same. It just doesn't happen. So you have to choose to improve or decline. Those are your choices. It's pretty cut and dry. You know what I mean? So
Ray Kroc said it best: when you're green, you grow; when you're ripe, you rot. So you might as well grow.
there you go.
Yeah.
There you go.
Yes. Well, this has been awesome, Travis. Thank you so much for sharing your story and sharing your inspiration. And, I know our listeners and viewers are just going to love to hear what you have to say here. So we so appreciate you taking the time. It's been wonderful.
No, I'm really glad you guys had me on. Honestly, this has been great. Like I haven't talked to Don a lot, in a couple of years. So it's good seeing you, Donnie.
Yeah. Great to see you, Travis.
Yeah, it's been a pleasure, man. I really enjoy what you guys are doing, and I think it's great.
Yeah,
Thank you.
Thank you. And thank you for being part of this. I think that this episode's going to be very inspirational. What our whole identity is we're trying to inspire thought, inspire people to think differently, inspire people to receive differently than the rest, and constantly always search for betterment. And so that's exactly what you talked about today. So thank you for that, Travis.
Yeah. No worries, guys. It was an absolute pleasure being on, honestly.
So let me know if you get back in Chicago. We can do some skating. I don't know if you ever come out this way.
I haven't in a long time, but I definitely will. Go out there. We'll go out there to maybe hop. I got a buddy that lives in Schaumburg. Maybe we could go to Hoffman Estates and skate once or twice. It'd be great.
Let me know. We'd love to see you, Travis, and I'm glad you're doing well.
And I can't skate for shit, but I'll meet you guys afterwards for a burger and a beer.
Yeah, burger and a beer. Yeah,
we're gonna try and beat you to the bar stool this time.
There you go.
Yeah.
That's awesome. Well, there you go. Well, folks, thank you so much for watching. Hopefully this inspired you. If you liked what you heard here today, please hit the subscribe channel. Follow us on Facebook, X, Rumble, and tell a friend. That's the most important thing. We're all about sharing betterment, sharing ideas, sharing perspectives. And it only helps. It only works when people share their ideas with other people. So please go out there, help us share, help us grow this channel. And until next time, we'll see you on Straight Up No Bullshit. Cheers.
Thank you for tuning in to the Straight Up No Bullshit, the Don Handston Show. We hope we enlightened you and expanded your perspectives with our bold and honest discussions about what might be holding you back from being your genuine self. And with a simple click to subscribe, we'll invite you back to the next episode. If you want to know more, go to straightupnobullshit.com. We'll see you next time.